My name is Caden Coasley, and today we're going to talk about Western wheatgrass and its relation to the four pillars of the environment. To start off with its family, Western wheatgrass is part of the grass family when it comes to plants. With its relation to plants, its life cycle is a creeping perennial. It has rhizomes much like quackgrass. It is long-lived with an extensive, very strong rhizome root system combined with a few deep roots. Stems arise singly or in small clusters and grow from 1 to 3 feet tall, so about the size of a wheat plant. The sheaths are hairy and the purplish auricles are claw-like and clasp the stem like a barley plant. This plant looks much like a wheat plant, but with a bluish color. It is also called blue stem wheatgrass due to its blue stem. It's a cool season perennial. Here's an illustration of what it looks like. Kind of like a wheat plant, but a little less detail to the head. Onto the land.
Hi, I'm Sukhneet, and today I'm going to talk about land. Land consists of many different kinds of soils and rocks. In this presentation, we will be focusing on soil. Soil is very important for plants as it contains important nutrients which helps plants to grow. Soil is formed when erosive pressure breaks the rocks and crushes into tiny pieces. This process takes a lot of time, more than decades. Also, Western wheatgrass is very high tolerant to saline soil. Now, coming on to the how is land related to other pillars? Soil is a medium of plant growth. It has water and nutrients stored in it that is used up by the plants for their growth and development. The dead plants and leaves, etc., on decaying provides the organic matter to the soil. The organic matter is enriched in nutrients and improves the soil structure and texture, also water holding capacity. After that, animals on grazing exposes the soil to wind, water, and topsoil gets eroded, leaves the land bare. After that, excess of water in form of flood erodes the soil on the banks of river. The vegetation on the bank holds the soil together to prevent the soil erosion. Also, there are so many forms. Now, going on to the water part.
This is Colby speaking. The most way water relates to Western wheatgrass is that it needs it to grow. Plants' long fibrous roots help hold down soil to prevent erosion resulting from heavy rainfall. It is also a very drought-tolerant plant, which means it will still be a reliable food source for livestock during dry years. It can also help retain moisture in soil for long periods of time, and overall, it's just really good for keeping soil healthy and very tolerant.
Hi, this is Cole speaking. I'm just going to focus on the agriculture as well as the animals of this plant. So, Western wheatgrass has gained a lot of steam in the ag industry over the past couple of years. This grass has many environmental and economic benefits, such as helping to store water and carbon in the soil. This grass is interesting because it can also serve as a dual use crop for both grain and forage usage. Mixing this grass seed with legumes can increase yield as well as other economic benefits. This perennial crop can also help improve the sustainability of the agriculture production you are working with. Additionally, this grass has not been approved for herbicides or pesticides, therefore potentially making it more appealing to organic growers. Animals. Western wheatgrass is palatable to all livestock as well as abundance of wildlife such as deer, elk, and moose. Wildlife need this grass over the winter to keep their energy as well as their nutritional value high. This is a desired feed for cattle and farmers in the spring since it is very high in protein and nutritional value. Very good source for hay for cattle. Being a perennial crop, it can regenerate on its own once it has been planted. Therefore, this means that it can withstand heavy grazing pressure from cattle, and that can also help with the soil erosion. Additionally, this grass can be a good source of feed for small wildlife as well as birds, good habitat for pollinators. As we know, pollinators are essential to crop productions and hopefully helping make crops and the ecosystem better.
All right, and on to the technology part of it. There's a long list of genetically modified types of this crop due to the new technology we have today. Walsh being one of them. Walsh Western wheatgrass is one type from Lethbridge, Alberta, that was mainly developed for rhizome development, freedom from disease, and improved forage and seed yields.
I'm just going to talk a little bit on the forage mixtures I mentioned earlier. Um, I mentioned earlier that mixing this grass seed with legumes can increase yield as well as other economic benefits. Farmers, producers, and farmers are always trying to work with new technologies to make their overall production better. There's been a lot of work put into mixing these forages and this grass seed. And with all that being said, farmers are taking that data and what they found and taking it back to people to study so they can get the best production of the grass.
I'm going to correlate the land and technology both. We use mobile applications which give us meaningful and useful data for that particular region or field. Apps like FieldView, AgriMaps, etc. In the AgriMaps, we can find the topography, soil erosion, and many more things by sitting at one place.
All right, and that kind of sums up our presentation for the day. Thank you very much.